So I've had a lot of requests to show how to get gold in the Castithan arenas, and this is the first one, the Workers Cast Arena. And we'll go through it, and I'm going to get gold first attempt. That is my whole thing, is to get gold first attempt on every arena. I'm using a Heartbreaker SMG, a Corruptor that may or may not change out, a Respark, Flash Grenades, and Overcharge, and a lot of protective ones. Fortitude, Cellular Armor, Regeneration, a lot of the stuff that is defensive, those are the perks I'm going to be using. And the Charger, the Respark Charger, is the only thing that's even my ego. Everything else is a little bit under, so I'll be a little bit less powerful than I could be. But I'm purposely on my ego 1000 tune, just a little over 1000. And I'm doing that on purpose because I want to show you that I can do it on a low tune. It would be a cakewalk. It would be no problem whatsoever if I used my higher ego tune. But most people who are doing it are on lower egos, and they may not have as good of equipment. So that's kind of what I am trying to show you, is that this is easily done without super incredible equipment. Really and truly, there is just one thing that I personally think you need, and that is your primary weapon that you're going to use needs to be bio. Period.
Liro is made up of the workers, those that make the machine run. They labor to feed the ruling Liro, yet they go hungry. They've earned more. Show that you have too, and fight.
Three, two, one. Cyborgs detected.
Now, one of those little things, when this first came out, you really didn't get points for armor breaks. So that is a little bit of a bonus that you get now that you used to not. One of the reasons why I find bio to be very, very important. This is honestly not what I wanted to use. What I wanted to use was a weapon that had siphon or something so it would give me health. But in the end, I knew that bio was going to be the best thing, because for score you want to use bio just so you can break those plates really fast, so that you're not struggling to kill the enemies, because the enemies with shields and everything already take way too long to kill. Now, if you can be a little more careful than I am, because you'll see how quickly we end up getting to gold, and I get a little over carried away. I'll let myself get low on health, and I'll just take unnecessary risks so I can get a higher score. And it's really not necessary. Like I said, as long as you're using a bio weapon and killing pretty good, then you don't have to worry about that multiplier. Because the higher the multiplier, the more points you get for every enemy you kill. And I just, that's mainly what I tend to chase after. And that's not necessarily what you have to do. You'll take a risk of going down. Now remember, if you go down and have to extract, you're going to lose credit. So you don't want to do that. And you lose 1,000 points when you go down too. So that's not necessarily a good thing. And yes, that was what you would call poor management of my ammo. Wasn't paying enough attention, and that's Corruptor really and truly just isn't gonna cut it. The Corruptor just doesn't allow me to do enough damage. It takes way too long. It's like I said, it's hard to get adjusted to lesser weapons when you're used to the weapons that you have. And I have Corruptors that reload really fast, and that one really had me messed up right there, not being able to. And man, these guys have like super incredible melee range. I mean, it is just awful. So it's a good thing the round needed, because I probably would have gone down on that one right there. But yeah, bio above all. Whatever your secondary weapon is, what I found out running the arenas is not super important. It can come in handy. I would love, a good grind fragger, a really good shotgun would really help you quite a bit as a secondary. And yeah, this is right here where I'm like, Corruptor isn't gonna work. And that's the problem, is a lot of the stuff I have is lower ego. So I'll try a Volge Breacher. I'm not big on these, but they're not too bad in the end. It's a lot better than I was going to do with that Corruptor on this one. Something like the Corruptor would work better when it's a stage when there's a lot of lower enemies, where that damage doesn't just slow them down, but kind of kills them too. So that's something that will be revisited, but not necessarily on this arena, because it isn't necessary. To get gold is 22,000, and we can do that with just the primary weapon in the end, and using a secondary just a little bit. One thing that I will end up doing is I will end up swapping over to prepared, because with the breacher, that will come in a lot more handy. I'm not going to do it on this round, but yeah, with how often I'm really using it, it's a lot better if I'm using this one. And God, they are just not even letting me shoot. If I had some prepared on, that way it could reload, because yeah, it's almost what I need with these guys, because they are just tearing me up. They're just, with the ability to stagger me on their constant shots, constant melees, then it's a little bit better. You see how much damage this guy's taking. He was getting healed by one of those little drones too. So the drones are really something you should pay more attention to than I did, because the drones are really, really good for getting your modifiers up, and they will actually end up giving you quite a bit more points than you would expect that they would give you just by focusing on them. Where you see, hey, this Prowler's just no modifier by the time I'm through with him, because it took so much to kill him. So, and these guys, yeah, this round will worry you a little bit just because of it, because the guys are constantly keeping you staggered. But always, one of the first things I'll always do in every arena, and you'll see me do it, is I'm going to double check as to where the ammo crates are, because this is really important. I know I'm using an ammo spike, and I'll never, ever lay one down, because I'm so cheap that I would just rather keep running back to the box. So yeah, as you see, I'm trying everything, trying to see what can I use over this, because really and truly not equipped with what I would consider to be a really, really good secondary for this character. And that's, like I said, it's another reason why I wanted to use it. And by the way, this is a money round right here, killing these skitterlings on this section down here on the bottom where they're all spawned. This is definitely where you want to be, because this is what makes or breaks your gold. So you want to get down here and kill as many skitterlings as you can, and you'll see me pull right on up to gold right there. No problem with the skitterlings. This is the round that really, really matters. A lot of them do have those one rounds where you can score a lot of points, and some of the ones that really don't have a lower score. And just, you know, having this bio weapon that you can plow through them is really important. And a lot of times I would say, once you get gold, try to stay safe, because remember, going down once, you use your self-revive, and I do have self-medicated. If you go down a second time, then you extract and you lose your credit, you lose your gold. I'm pretty sure that's the way it was, because it used to be you could just leave the arena once you have gold, but they fixed it to where it wasn't like that. You actually had to complete it to get credit, so you want to make sure you complete the arena. So when you do have gold, you know, you can get a few thousand over to make sure, just in case you go down, you'll still be over that limit, which is really important. But honestly, staying alive is really important once you get your gold, if that is your main focus. Or you can make it a point to chase after the golden skitterlings, which you really and truly, they're good buffers, they're good score boosts, but they take so long to kill. I would never suggest, if you're on a gold run and that is your primary thing, is you're trying to get gold, don't worry about golden skitterlings. Just ignore them while you get your gold. You go for that later. I know that it's part of another pursuit to kill 25, but when you're getting gold, it's really easy pretty much to get gold without worrying about them, and sometimes worrying about them can cost you your gold because you spend too much time after them, even though that chance for a good loot drop from them is really enticing, I will admit. But yeah, you'll see, look, at this point I've really close to have doubled up on what gold is needing to be. So this is just kind of my way of saying that this is the way to do it. And really and truly, this first arena is so easy to get gold on. It's really easy to farm it. I think that it's not the quickest. There's quicker ones, but if you really and truly have to finish them to get credit, then it almost doesn't matter in the end. But because there was a time, I think whenever I had to get a certain amount, you had to get so many things out of the machine and everything, I just, you know, you'd get gold on it, get your credit, and leave, and it was just that easy. But yeah, they kind of changed all that up to make it to where people weren't, you know, taking shortcuts. So, but this was a little bit of torture. I'm gonna say that as well. This was I did these arenas a lot. I did these arenas a lot back whenever I was trying to get everything done. I bought everything, but on purposely was just trying to get the ego off of it, so I didn't buy a blade. And this is back when it, I think it's 750 reputation now for the legendary blade, and it used to be 1,000. So after I did everything, bought my 5 items from the store and everything, I realized, oh, you know what, I want the legendary blade. So I went back into the arenas and ground out the reputation till I could buy another one, and it was, like I said, awful. Awful. It is not fun to do the reputation for this that much. You're pretty much done with it. So I have to admit, I was a little bit hesitant to hop in and actually do this for you guys, because I was like, man, I do not want to do it. I just don't. But I still did it. I took the time. I was like, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll run through the Castithan DLC, and we'll get over to the arenas, because I hadn't done it with this character yet. So we'll go over there and get that done. Hopefully we can knock it out pretty quick, and you guys can get the arenas, the gold in the arenas that you are looking for. And you're seeing part 1 right here. And yeah, here I go again. I'm looking for something. It's just awful. One of these days I'm going to have to look at getting a little bit better weapon choice. Even a pistol or something would have been good. And there just isn't a good choice for, you know, I thought even the blighter. Blighter is my ego. Maybe this will work well on round 5. Not so much. No. Just not enough damage in the end to equal up to points, and that's what it is. We need points, and without a good grind fragger, or if you had a really good stingray, I would say a really good stingray would work too. And I mean one that has a good charge, that when you would know it if you had it. It lasts a very long time when you're using it, because on those rounds where there's a lot of little characters, a very powerful stingray, which is what that becomes when it can hold the charge for a long time, it can really wipe out those enemies, and it really comes in handy. And unfortunately, this character does not have a stingray, so that's in that kind of power range. I'd have to end up modding it and everything, and you know, you don't normally have the mods and everything for that. So, and yeah, I am allowed to play right here because of the fact that I had, you know, past gold. That's where you can try to see what you're going to do, see what's working kind of well and what isn't. And that's kind of what I was doing. I'm flipping through those secondary weapons, trying to find everything, and I can tell you now, since I already know the future, that Vol's Breacher really and truly was the best one. There's going to be a stage or so where the Corruptor is better and all that, but the Breacher is by far and away the best secondary I could have had, because it's the closest thing I had to a grind fragger, and it really is powerful. Now, if it had been my ego, man, that would have been just wonderful if I'd have just, you know, been patient and let it, or, well, if I'd have had the Arc Forge to get to my ego. I'd used all the Arc Forge on my Respark, because that's defensive, and I wanted that defensive, so I was willing to do that and ignore my weapons just so I could have the defense that the shield would afford me. And there you go, gold, nice and easy. Plus this helped with all of the reputation and everything, so I ended up with quite a bit of reputation at the end of all this. So that's the end of the first arena. That is gold. I will catch you guys later.